Hello everybody, my name is Starrapter and I'm super excited to talk to you about Star Wars as always, because every single week I break down the latest in Star Wars content that includes but is not limited to the comics, novels, TV series and more. So make sure you subscribe to this channel so you never miss any of those breakdowns. Speaking of breakdowns, I'm going to break down this week's comics. We have 3 of them. The first one is Doctor Aphra, issue number 28. This is part 4, called Worst Among Equals. And in this story, we have Doctor Aphra and 000. Remember, they have bombs implanted inside them, proximity bombs. If they get too far away from each other, both of them explode. So they are on this planet called Milvain. It's an ultra loyalist planet of the Empire, so they are very, very strict on the rules. So right now we have Doctor Aphra as well as 000 in the underworld, and they are traversing their way through with the help of this young girl called Vulada. And in the last issue, we had none other than Tam Pazla as well as BT being possessed by these force spores that were in the previous arc, and now they are in the middle of combat. And just as they are about to get felled, we have none other than Winloss and Nock from that annual, I think it's annual number 2 for Dr. Aphra, that show up and deal with them to give 000 as well as Dr. Aphra a chance to escape. They go with Vulada, who meets up with them later on, and she later betrays Dr. Aphra to the security people of this particular planet. So another great issue for Dr. Aphra. This continues to be the most far-flung Star Wars story, I think, to date, because it just includes all these characters that are not well known. Actually, all these are pretty much original characters that don't appear in the film, so it's pretty cool having the stakes so high, not knowing what's going to happen to these particular characters at any given moment. I did enjoy seeing well-known characters such as Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazai. I love how we have those characters weaved in. This is after A New Hope. We actually see Dr. Evazan retrofitting Ponda Baba with a cybernetic arm that is a flamethrower. So hopefully that's a peek at what's to come. Maybe we'll see Ponda Baba in action with this flamethrower. It's going to be pretty awesome if we do. I do like seeing Tam Pazla resurrect for like a 3rd time or something crazy like that, because he is one of my favorite characters. If you guys watch these videos, I always talk about Tam Pazla. He's like my favorite background character in Star Wars right now. He just shows up in Solo and in Rogue One. And, well, he gets torn apart, and then the force of the spirit, who wants a very much a well-distinguished person for justice, keeps going back into the body of Tam Pazla and resurrecting him. And it's crazy because he's got the force when he's, inhabited by the spirit and everything. Really cool stuff there. I did like the character development in this particular issue, especially with 000 constantly having feelings for BT. Obviously, he's a murder droid. Why should he have feelings like this? But he keeps denying them, even though Aphra keeps calling it out on him. Speaking of Aphra, I liked how she dealt with 000 and about how she explains to Vulada, that little orphan girl on the planet, that, she had multiple opportunities to kill 000. But to her, she's the one that actually activated to turn him on in Darth Vader, issue number 3. So she's had a history of him with him. She doesn't want to turn him off, basically. She almost thinks of him, it seemed like almost like a pet in a way. She compared him to Vulada's like big ass Rathtar looking species of alien thing. I don't know what it's called. So it's cool seeing that deeper dive into, we know Dr. Aphra hates 000, but why exactly does she not kill him if that's the case? So we find out a little bit about that. And I do love the parallels of this character of Vulada. I did not expect her to actually betray Dr. Aphra. That to me was quite a good twist in a series of twists that this comic book constantly throws us through the ringer for. And it's cool seeing that she parallels with Dr. Aphra, and she literally quotes Dr. Aphra, who talks about her being a loner and all this stuff. And yeah, so this issue was great. This was a good issue that furthers along the story of Dr. Aphra, further fleshes out not only her, but a lot of the other characters such as 000. So I cannot wait for issue number 29. So next up we have Solo issue number 4. So there's not much to report on for this particular issue because there's not much different from the movie. Actually, it's all pretty much the same. There's no new added scenes or anything like that. But it does pick up where Han and Lando are on the Falcon. They're going toward the planet of Kessel. We go through that whole battle, and then we end up, trying to escape Kessel with that big Star Destroyer. So they cover a lot of ground in this issue. It's a lot of action. I do like how the artwork by Slimy was just really consistent, really carried us through the entire action set piece pretty well. It was very fast paced, but I did like how it was laid out. So another great solid issue for the Solo adaptation. And next up for Star Wars Comics, we have Star Wars Adventures number 17. I love seeing a Star Wars Resistance character on the cover, and I will talk about that show in just a little bit. But first, let's break down this comic book. First off, as always, there are 2 stories in the Star Wars Adventure comics. The first one will be about Star Wars Resistance character Kaz in the story of Sector 7E. So he is on the Colossus. He is giving, he's got a lesson from the character of Niku about the different valves and stuff on the Colossus as far as, water flow and whatnot. He then goes and finds a secret area on the Colossus, and then later finds out that there are these thieves that are trying to steal things. He ends up using the knowledge that Nico taught him about the pipes and whatnot to actually save BB-8 from being blasted after he falls through this grate. And all in all, it's just a lesson about Kaz finding about instructions and listening and being able to, use that knowledge to put it towards something. So things I liked were, first off, seeing a different area on the Colossus. The show, Star Wars Resistance, does a great job of every episode kind of showing us a new corner of this refueling station. I also liked the lesson that Kaz learned. Next up for Star Wars Adventures issue number 17, we have a continuation of the Flight of the Falcon series. This is part 4, and it is called Lady and the Tramp. So we have none other than Bazine Natal meeting Lady Proxima. Yeah, that's right, Lady Proxima from Solo. So if you're doing the math in your head, this is about, let's say maybe 40 years past the events of Solo, and we have Lady Proxima still in power on Corellia, and we have the character Bazine Natal basically wanted to know what happened with the Millennium Falcon. So apparently Han Solo and Chewbacca came back to Corellia at some point to get the parts because they know that's where the Falcon was basically created, on Corellia, right? It's a Corellian YT-1300 freighter. So they needed to get parts, and they ran into Proxima again, and what happens is Han Solo does the whole same old trick that he did when he was younger, except without a stone. He has a literal thermal detonator, and he uses that to then, again, scar Proxima and get the heck out of Corellia. So all in all, it was great seeing Lady Proxima. It was awesome seeing Moloch in the events after Solo. So that to me was really cool because it just furthers the allure of what's been going on Corellia since Han Solo left. And I did like seeing it come back around full circle to where Han was using a thermal detonator instead of an actual rock. So solid story for Flight of the Falcon. I'm really enjoying the series of finding out what happened to the Millennium Falcon with all the different owners. You really do get the feel that this wasn't just a ship, but it's actually a character. And we have so many different characters between the different novels and whatnot that really take advantage of this really awesome ship, for sure. Okay, so I had to hold off with uploading this video because I knew there was an announcement for a new Star Wars book. I didn't realize there was going to be an announcement for multiple Star Wars books. So for Star Wars publishing news, we are having this publishing push that has surrounded the opening of the new Disney Star Wars park, Galaxy's Edge. So first off, as previously announced, they have a Marvel miniseries that is going to be focused on Dak-Ondar and a bunch of archaeological finds and stuff that are going around in Galaxy's Edge. Next up, brand new announcement, just announced, we have a new novel from Deliah Dawson that is going to be Black Spire. General Leia sends her top agent in the Resistance to go scout out this location. I'm thinking it's got to be V. Marathi from the Phasma series. Next up, we have a young adult novel. It's from Disney Lucasfilm Press. It's called A Crash of Fate. 2 kids on Batuu. What's going to happen there? Next up, we have something called Star Wars Myths and Fables. Now, 2 of these stories are going to be on Batuu, but the rest of them will be all around the Outer Rim and the more unknown regions of Star Wars. They have a sample on StarWars.com that's about the Tusken Raiders and a Krayt Dragon, so that looks really cool. I'm looking forward to that. From other things we have coming out for the Galaxy's Edge, we have IDW's kids comic of some sort. They're going to have some kind of tie-in, as well as a Galaxy's Edge cookbook that's going to have the in-universe kind of food that you'll have there. You can try to make it at home. So yeah, that was a bunch of exciting announcements. By the way, all these will be releasing from August to September, all these different release dates. So lots of stuff to look forward to at the end of summer. Plus, we know we're going to have tie-ins for episode 9. So there's going to be just so much publishing out for Star Wars this year. It's getting off on a slow start as far as 2019. The next thing we have to look forward to would be the Padme novel, and that's something I already reviewed on the channel, so you can check out my initial impressions of Queen Shadow there. But other than that, we have to look forward to Master and Apprentice in the month of March. Then we have the various other novels like Thrawn Alliances, as well as Alphabet Squadron. So a lot to look forward to with publishing in 2019. Speaking of Star Wars Resistance, we had another episode that came out this week. It was Season 1, Episode 13, titled The Doza Dilemma. This episode was awesome. It's definitely one of the highlights for me of the season and of the series so far. In this, we have Tora Doza, who is captured by the pirates, and then the First Order ends up betraying the pirates, saving her to look like the good guys, and they are in the running to become the people that will save the Colossus, and they will inhabit the outpost there and kind of take things over and look like the heroes. So you can look at my review, which is on the channel right now. Moving over to my Twitter question of the week, it comes to me from James M, the Crazy Gamer Historian, 1999 at Robin McCormick. He asked me at Starrapter, what are your 3 to 5 favorite Star Wars video games? And wow, that is a tough question. That is a tough question because I love my Star Wars video games. I will tell you that right now. Right off the top of my head, I'm going to just say Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, and Star Wars The Old Republic. Boom. 3 games right there, but I can't stop there because there's just so many more. Battlefront 2, as much as you can say about all the problems it had when it launched, I find myself constantly going back to the game. I played the game a little bit today, actually, so I'm constantly on that game. So it kind of comes back to me, like, how many times have I played the game? How much do I love the game? I will say Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3 Rebel Strike, I played the heck out of that one, as well as Rogue Leader, or whatever that one was called. One launched on the GameCube. I played a lot of Star Wars games on the GameCube. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. I talked a little bit about that in I think last week's video with Kyle Katarn, or the previous week's video. So much Star Wars. I love Star Wars Bounty Hunter, where we actually play as Jango Fett and see how he's the clone template that he's later used to be. So there's just so much. Those right off the top of my head. Great question, and you guys can get your questions into me via Twitter by, using hashtag Star Wars Weekly at Starrapter. You can also comment them down in the comment section below on YouTube. So I want to hear your guys' questions. Let me know so I can answer them next week. So I'm also doing my Star Wars giveaway for Star Wars Pirates Price still on the channel. The details can be found down below. Next week, you guys can look forward to Star Wars issue number 61 and Age of the Republic Anakin issue number 1. So what did you think about this week's comics? Let's talk about them all in the comment section below. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I do this every single week that there is new Star Wars to talk about, so you're going to want to make sure you are subscribed so you never miss out on any of that info. My name is Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also included 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.